Hi, I'm Rich Gaebel, and this is my wife, Connie Gaebel. We have a 40-acre tree farm. It's about 4 miles outside of North Plains to the northwest, and we bought it about 40 years ago. This particular piece of property was logged in the early 1900s and again in around the 1950s. So when I got it, it was mostly brush. It had some timber scattered here and there and a lot of hardwoods. When we bought it, it didn't have a road, didn't have a bridge, didn't have any structures or anything. It was just raw land. So the ensuing 40 years involved building roads, bridges, culverts, creek crossings, and finally our home. It's been about 33 years since we've planted a lot of the trees. And so some of them do need to be thinned now, and we've gotten some more NRCS cost share money to do thinning on several cedar projects. It's pre-commercial thinned, and right now we're doing we completed a commercial thin of about 4.5 acres of an old Christmas tree plantation. And we've had a lot of cost shares through the original ASCS offices, and now it's NRCS, I believe. And we did the original clearing of 3 acres, and then another 3 acres, and then another 3 acres. And that's worked out very well. And we've actually done some logging this time for this first year, hiring a logger to do 2 acres. Throughout the years, the purpose of owning the tree farm has kind of changed. It was originally a place to hunt, seclusion, and just loved being in the woods. And that's kind of morphed a bit into growing trees, planning for the future, thinning and trimming them up and just enjoying watching them grow. The pond behind me, that was part of a promotional program from the Division of State Lands to make small water impoundments. The permitting process wasn't too bad, believe it or not. But in 1998, we completed the pond behind us, and we had some trout put in there with permits from the Department of Fish and Wildlife. It is a wildlife pond. We have ducks, we have mergansers, salamanders, frogs, crawfish, just a whole menagerie of everything in there. When we put the bridge in, I went to the Department of Forestry, and they were very, very helpful. It's a 60-foot clear span bridge my father and I built in 1980. We cut all the timbers here on site and we had them treated. But the Department of Forestry had old plans from I believe the bridge across the Minam River and Trask River and so forth. And they said, we don't need these anymore. And it really mirrored what we were doing on Dairy Creek. So they gave those to me, very helpful. So wildlife has been very important to me. I enjoy seeing wildlife. So several years ago, I started making food plots, and you'll see a lot of deer out here. We tried raising some turkeys and kind of let them run a little bit. The management plan has really been an eye-opener as far as the progress that you need to plan ahead for on a tree farm. And it's something that I didn't necessarily think of myself. I just would look at something, oh, that needs to be done, and go ahead and do it. Well, in the long run, it's worked out very well. And I find that now that we're doing some harvesting on timber, there's several of the timber buyers that want to know if the property is certified, and they want to know the certification number because they pass that on to their customers. And it makes it a lot easier to sell your product into that open market. I'll say it's been 40 years, an enjoyable 40 years. I enjoy working, and I don't consider what I've done here as work. A lot of friends help, my parents. It's been a lot of work that I haven't done by myself. I've had a lot of help. And if you enjoy it, it's not work. It's just day in and day out. And I think you talk to any tree farmer and they're going to agree with you. It's what they enjoy doing.